Well, hello, friends, neighbors. John, your whiskey neighbor here. Welcome down the Nook. Today, I wanted to talk about the Kirkland 24-year-old sherry cask finish. But then I thought, you know what? I still have the 20-year-old, and a friend, Dark Cloud Whiskey, gave me a sample, my third sample of the 23-year-old Kirkland. I thought, you know, it'd be more fun than just talking about this is getting my daughter to pour them blind here and just hey, what do I smell? What do I taste? And what do I like? And I'll try to do it fast enough at the end. Once I know which one is the 24, I'll give you deeper thoughts. So this will be my thoughts on the Kirkland 24-year-old sherry finish, but it will be done in a blind. Why don't you pour something a little heavier sherried and come on back. 3, 4. Well, thanks for staying with me. I'll do a couple of close-ups of the bottle. So, you know, Kirkland has now released several sherry cask finishes into my market. The 24-year-old is the latest. Now, it's spent most of its life in ex-bourbon, but it does mention that it spent 2.5 years in ex-oloroso. It's released at 46%, but I can't find any information on whether it's colored or whether it's chill filtered. Going right down to the 20, because it's the only one I have a bottle of. You know, this one, 20-year-old, same thing. Most of its life in ex-bourbon, but this time it's been finished in ex-oloroso for 6 months. So that's quite a definite shorter time. And the color is incredibly similar. The 24 is a little darker. The 23, all I have is this sample. Again, thanks, Sean, Dark Cloud Whiskey. This is the 23-year-old. I believe it's finished in the same, well, not the same, but in ex-oloroso, but for 22 months. I'm not sure. I've heard 2 years, so 24 months. I've heard 22 months. I'm not sure, and I've never had a bottle, so I can't. They usually say like on the back, that's where I got the details of these. And it's from Alexander Murray Company, which does release some pretty cool independent releases. I've asked my daughter to pour these for me blind, so I've got a green one here. And a white one, and blue or purple. I'm not sure. We'll say dark blue. So I'm going to start nosing, then we'll taste, and just share some thoughts. Okay, this one is quite bold. It's got definitely some thick plum and raisin, but it's got like a rum raisin note. You know, there's a little edge of sourness to this one. I'm not sure what that is. It's not quite vinegar sour, but something surprisingly a little bit of sour in with the thick sherry notes. The white? Oh, this is far more relaxed, far like it's gentle. Here I've got, you know, some berry fruit almost, more raspberry, light chocolate. Okay, far stronger, much more approachable. Now remember, they're all 46%. Now we'll try this green dot. Oh, now it could have been the power of suggestion from this one, but this one to me, you know, they all have somewhere on the spectrum of some of that sherry, heavy fruity notes. But this, almost the first thing I've got coming from these two is more cocoa, more espresso, and some of the sour notes that I was getting here. But now that I've spent time with these, sourness is backing off and becoming a thicker nose. So if the sourness backs away more, this is going to be my favorite nose. This this purple blue one. This by far the most approachable nose, and this one the most dark cocoa, dark chocolate, little espresso notes, which I like. So I'm kind of going like, maybe this is my favorite, unless this sour kind of goes off a bit, then this is my favorite. So I'm really torn. Love this nose. This is really nice. But in terms of like, oh, this is going to get me going, this is just a bit more relaxed, a bit more welcoming, and it's nice. All right, let's try the palate. I'll go backwards. I'll start with the green. thick stewed fruits, some sugars, but malt sugars, a little bit of wood bite on the edge, a little bit of oak, and now playing into the early finish, a little more char, a little more oak, back into dark, thick red grape rind, fruit rind. Okay, trying the white. That is a pleasing dram, and surprising they're all 46. It's definitely more coating in the mouth. Yeah, again, I'm gonna go back to that kind of a jam berry note. Not the thick prune rind, but a sweet raspberry. But it's got some nice like almost creaminess to it, just like the nose is gentle. Comparing just straight to the grain, the palate is more gentle. Oh, but there on the finish now, drawing a little bit, which I appreciate. Less wood spicing, less wood on the edges of my palate. These both excellent scotches. Right, trying the purple or dark blue. Just an edge still. All right, try the palate. Gonna go back to that rum raisin. There's a bit of astringency to match the sourness. There's a bit of bitterness in here, but if you like bitter coffee, really unsweetened cocoa, dark fruit, almost like the sweetness is there, but for me, this is bold, slightly astringent bitter, but rich, thick. I would love to have this with a cake that already had sugar and sweetness, and it would just wash that sweetness away and have such a nice dark undercurrent. Whew. One more taste all the way through, backwards, and I'll speed it up or cut it out, and then I'll give you my thoughts. So I've gone back and forth, tried a few, almost finished them all, and I think I've got how I want to share with you. I believe this is my favorite. Well, I believe this is my favorite. This green. Both the better chocolate, slight nut in the nose, and the palate that was expressive, had some malt sweetness. That's my favorite. This I had as my favorite, and then my least favorite, and then my favorite, and then my least favorite. So what I have to say about this one is it is probably the most polarizing, hot, cold. It's definitely the strongest in terms of flavors, but with that comes the strongest astringency for me, and there is a sourness in the nose that does back away, but I get it. This one would be the one that I would go for if I was just looking for a nice, relaxed, heavy sherry dram. I'm gonna put it, I'm all over the map. I'm gonna put it second, and this one third. And I'll stand by that flavoring. Whatever it is, we'll do the reveal. I'll give you a quick guess. I think 23, 20, and 24, but I've only had samples of the 23 if I'm right. The 20 I've had a fair amount of, and I've actually been really enjoying it. So interesting that I almost put it last place here. The 24 I've just started to get to know. That's my thoughts. Here's the grand reveal. Let's see. I am totally wrong. This is the 24-year-old, and I picked it as my favorite. This is the 23-year-old. I had these, I guessed them totally wrong. It's funny how, like I said, it played as my first, last, but I stand by. In the end, there were some things about this sample, I don't have a bottle, that just didn't agree, and I was right about the 20. And I thought I probably had the 20 dialed in, because you can see I've had the most of the 20. So that is fascinating. Well, we'll move the 23 and the 20 over there and end with this 24. You know, in this sitting, I continue to really enjoy this 24. And in my market, this was 96, Canadian. This was 86. And the 23 I didn't buy, but it was the same price, 96 as this one. So, you know, for a 24-year-old, 46% full sherry Scotch nowadays, that's a value. It's so rich, and I get edges of that chocolate, but not so burnt as I was getting in the 23. Try on the palate. Wow, that is so rich. Now, well, not the 20 so much, but the 23 and the 24 can benefit from just a splash of water a little bit. Right there, I got a little bit of harshness. And I was really getting it on the 23 this time, but I've had it on the sips here too, where I'm like, you know, this is a little bit of a harder malt for 24, but very, very tasty. Hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I love a surprise reveal like that too, and I guessed wrong, but stand by my palate. In this sitting, I liked everything about this 24-year-old Kirkland Scotch. Hope you guys have a great Saturday.